How's it guys, this is Dayvy FC and welcome back to the Euro 2020 fantasy video. Now this is probably going to be the last video that I do create on Euro 2020 on this channel specifically, and also for the tournament. I mean, there's not much use creating Euro 2020 content after the competition has ended, so I'm actually really hoping for a massive final to take place. I think it's going to be an absolute banger. England, Italy, very strong teams. I don't think anyone would have predicted this. If you did look at my predictions earlier on before the tournament, you would have seen that I think I predicted England to get knocked out in the round of 16. But it's fine. It's always better to get more than you asked for. So I think that I always will take England being in the final versus a very strong Italian side. But in this video, I'll be taking you guys through my final team selection for the finals of the Euro 2020s. Probably going to be a little bit of a shorter video just because you only have one fixture to talk about. So not many transfers that we can actually do. I just wanted to kind of create this video as closure for their entire season. And don't worry, we'll be creating more content on FPL, starting the FPL content in the upcoming week. So make sure you guys are subscribed to my main channel, Dayvy FPL. Just search that on Google or search that on YouTube. It should come up straight away. And hopefully I do see you guys there for an absolutely banging FPL 2021/2022. But now let's get on and focus on the Euros. So first off, the most important thing and the recommendation that I can give to you guys is I would predict who I think are going to win the finals of Euro 2020. For example, I could say England are going to win, Italy are going to win, and that's going to be my real focus of my transfers. And the reason I'm saying this is that if you guys do want to go differential, I would stack the team that I think are going to win. If you want to go a little bit more safe, I would recommend going with kind of a 50-50 split. Obviously, you can't get a 50-50 split of a team of 11, so I would recommend slightly favoring the team that you think are going to win and going for 6 options from that respective nation and then go for 5 options from the other team. And the thing about this week is that with 5 free transfers, I don't know about you guys, but for my own team selection, I have an absolutely stacked squad already. So 5 free transfers, that's going to actually be too many transfers for me. So what you can do now is you can take out your Italian/your England options and bring in the other team's players if you think that they're more heavily favored. So for example, I could take out a Donnarumma, bring in a Pickford, I could take out a Harry Kane, bring in an Immobile, or what I could do is I could kind of take out a single player like a Di Lorenzo from the same nation and bring in Emerson if I think that Emerson is more of an attacking fullback. So that's an example of the things that you can do, but my heavy recommendation would be just go for the team that you think are going to win, and I would stack on their options. In terms of the predictions, the odds are super close on this one. I don't think we've ever had a fixture this close in terms of the Euro 2020s. Not even the England-Germany game was this tight. We have 1.9 for Italy and 1.8 for England, so only a 0.1 difference in the odds there. So you can see how close this game actually is. So from a safety point of view, I would probably lean towards just going for 6 players from England, 5 players from Italy, and just taking it from there. Try go for those options that won't be affected if the other team managed to get a couple points. So for example, what I'm saying is that if England managed to score, you want to get a more attacking Italian defender, so at least that way you cover the risk of maybe not getting a return, because maybe a Di Lorenzo and Emerson can get an assist or a goal, that sort of thing. So it's going to be hard to do, but I don't think you have to stress too much about this game week. Simply just pick the players you think are going to do well, and hopefully they end up doing. But from an odds point of view, England are the favorites. Now going on to the clean sheet point of view, if you guys want to maybe choose the better defenders here, the odds are saying that England have a better chance of keeping a clean sheet. And I honestly think that I kind of agree with this, because I think this England-Italy game is going to be similar to the Belgium-Italy game, where we saw Italy kind of sit back, absorb the pressure, look to more of a counter-attack. Whereas with England, I think they're going to have a lot of possession, a lot of chances created probably, but maybe not that many shots on target, for example. So I think that this game is going to be more sided to maybe England's clean sheets than Italy's clean sheets, and I also think that's just from a chance creation point of view. You'll see when we go into the stats in the next talking point that England's attackers generally get more chances than the Italian options, and that's why I think that the England clean sheet is slightly more favorable. So going on to those attacking options and those defensive options and the options that you guys are going to look to captain, I will probably stay on this point of view for quite a while, because I'm going to talk to you guys about more differential aspects and more attacking aspects, because unfortunately this is basically a normal fantasy game now, because you only have one fixture, so we can only choose one captain for the game week. So if you guys want to go differential, I will suggest some options. If you guys want to go more safety, I will suggest some options for you guys as well. So going on the England options first, I think that Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling are your safety options. but I am currently siding towards maybe going with the Raheem Sterling. I don't know why, I just maybe think maybe against Chiellini, Bonucci, maybe Harry Kane will struggle a little bit more than the other centre-backs that he's faced, whereas Raheem Sterling has looked really good against some of the best left-backs, right-backs, centre-backs in the game at the moment. So between these two, not a lot separates them between shots and shots on target. Both have had a healthy amount of shots and shots on target and a healthy amount of goals. The only thing about Harry Kane though is that he is on penalties. So if you think that a penalty is going to come up in the final, hopefully it doesn't. I would really be sad if the final of Euro 2020s was decided by a penalty like it was against Denmark. But I think that Harry Kane, definitely that has to be a thing that you kind of consider, is that he is on penalties. But in terms of non-penalty XG, Raheem Sterling's is actually higher than Harry Kane's. I know, absolutely remarkable there. It just kind of shows how good he's been in this tournament, and that's why I think that I would slightly favour going with Raheem Sterling. Also the fact that he gets 1 extra point for a goal, and then if England do manage to keep a clean sheet, he does get a clean sheet point, and I just think that this game is going to be quite close. So I would rather, if there's going to be 1 goal, I would rather maybe captain Raheem Sterling, because if he does get that goal, he's going to be on for a little bit more of a haul, whereas with Harry Kane, it might be kind of a 6-pointer, 7-pointer, which might not be as high of a ceiling. So I think Raheem Sterling's my favourite option out of the kind of England attackers, and he also is semi-good odds on scoring. I know that Harry Kane has the best odds in this game to score at 2.6. Going on to the other options you can consider, now these are the more differential options. I think that Mason Mount is the option I would go for, more of a differential point of view, but I do still think because there's only 1 fixture, you don't have to go as differential as Mason Mount to still get a lower captaincy. I think that Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane will be the most captain options. The talent assets will probably be captain a little bit less. I just think that that's because England are considered favourites, but I think that a Mason Mount could be an option if you want to go mega differential. So let's kind of title it as that, a mega differential is Mason Mount, and also that Harry Maguire is an option that you guys should consider more of a differential point of view. So I think captaining a defender in a final is going to be more differential than it ever has been. So I mean, a Harry Maguire, a John Stones, a Luke Shaw, all those options can be favourable. I just think that if you watch the England games, I think that Harry Maguire's chances on those free kicks and those corners has been outstanding. So if he can manage to get a goal, that's going to be a massive haul for you guys. So I think that Harry Maguire is currently my favourite England defender to captain. Going on to the 2 Italian assets, because Italy could definitely win this fixture, so if you want to go for them, Immobile and Insigne would be my captaincy options. You're probably asking why not a Chiesa or maybe a other option like an Emerson, but I just think that because Italy are considered underdogs, I think that less people will captain them. So going for an Immobile or an Insigne is already going to be differential enough. Now Insigne in the last fixture, I don't think he had a great game against Spain, and that's what's kind of hindered me about captaining him another time against England. I think that I'll be going for an England option, also think that England will win this fixture. So comment down below who you guys think are going to win this fixture. Always nice to see your guys' kind of predictions. But Immobile, Insigne, I would probably lean towards going with Insigne just because he is a midfielder and he has looked slightly better than Immobile in situations. And I think in a final, because they're going to go for that counter-attacking kind of play style, it's going to be similar to the Belgium game. And because Harry Maguire, John Stones are super physical, I think that Immobile might struggle a little bit. So Insigne is my favorite option. 14 shots, 6 on target, and also 2 goals. XG is about 1, which isn't too great. When you kind of compare it to Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane, they kind of outshine him quite a bit. But I do still think if Italy score, Immobile or Insigne will be involved, so you guys can definitely still consider them. I mean, the odds of Immobile still scoring are the second best in this fixture at 3.25, and then Insigne kind of battles Raheem Sterling, but Raheem Sterling is slightly favoured to score. So now going on to the predicted lineups, as I did in the last team selection, UEFA actually post their predicted lineups on their website. So I think these 2 lineups are pretty self-explanatory. I think most of us would have expected these kind of lineups. England are going for the exact same lineup that they faced Denmark with, and then Italy have the exact same lineup that they faced Spain with. So just kind of cover this. If you want to go for some early transfers, I would go for these lineups because I think they are pretty bang on. So if you guys want to go for some England options, some Italian options to bring in 100%, look at these predicted lineups. But you must also remember that we do get the lineups before the deadline, so you don't have to stress. Maybe take a little bit of a chill pill, wait for Sunday, and then we get the lineups, and then you can do your free transfers to your heart's desire. Now going on to the team selection, and as I mentioned, I'm slightly favouring going for a more conservative playstyle. I'm just kind of going for options that I think will do well, because honestly, I don't think this game is going to be that high scoring. So I mean, Italy, England, I think either of these teams will win 1-0, but I do think that England are slightly favoured in my opinion, and that's why I have 6 options from England and only 5 options from Italy. So the options that I have opted for out of that England defense have been Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, and John Stones, just because I think out of the options in that defense, I've just taken out Pickford and Walker because I think these three options have a slightly better chance of getting attacking returns. Di Lorenzo is still in my team, but if I do still have a free transfer left over, I will heavily consider going for Emerson, just because I think that he's been slightly more attacking in that game against Spain. Donnarumma comes in as my goalkeeper, but I will probably have Pickford on the bench with an extra free transfer. I just think that bringing him in kind of splits the odds here in the defense, and I think that Italy still have a chance of getting a clean sheet. Probably a 0-0 would be quite a good result for us, but definitely if you captained one of the defenders from these respective nations, I think that going to penalties will be quite an interesting conclusion to the Euro 2020s. Going on to the midfield, I've gone for 2 England and 2 Italian options. Insigne, Chiesa kind of picked themselves, whereas Sterling and Mason Mount are a little bit more unpredictable. So I mean, if Jackie Grealish was going to start, I probably would go for him, but I think because Mason Mount is kind of a keystone in that Southgate team, I'll opt for him, even though he hasn't been that attacking in the Euro 2020s. But Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane, mainstays in my squad, definitely going to be keeping them, as from an attacking outlet, they're basically England's only chance of getting a goal. Immobile up front, I'm not too confident in him, but I think that I have to go with him because I've kind of gone for the full starting 3 of that Italian lineup. I'm just kind of hoping for maybe no goals or lots of goals. We can kind of put it like that, because then I'm either going to get the clean sheets or I will get the attacking returns from these respective teams. But comment down below what you guys are going for. I'd really be interested to see if you guys are absolutely stacking your team with either Italy or England options. But this is basically a wrap of the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new and haven't subscribed yet. Also, big thanks to you guys for the continued support throughout this series on my second channel. But as I mentioned, we'll be doing FPL content coming Monday, and might be a little bit of a surprise in there for my initial draft. But I'm going to be signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.